welcome everyone to another episode of Wednesday Night Live. We got an excellent show for you guys tonight. Tim is going to bring us the latest news in advocacy. Also, we've got a poll question of the week. How much will vape shops sell 60 ml bottles of juice? If you guys want to comment on that, your thoughts, put them in there. We'll read them off. We also got an e-liquid review of Ruthless and loaded e-liquids today. Also, I'm going to pull this up for our ZampleBox family members. Let's see, but ZampleBox family members know, please check your emails. Everyone should have gotten an email from ZampleBox explaining how things are going to work for the next few months with their orders. Also, if you have any questions or concerns on your boxes, please use the email address Hello ZampleBox or their Facebook Messenger on their company page, not in the family page, but the company page. So let's get this show started. By me saying hello to my boys here. Brian Power, Tom Harding, and Tim Swift out there. Hey, John.
I like how he points, and I'm watching his hand, and I'm like, you're not pointing at you're kind of pointing at me.
Boom. Yeah, it is a reverse. So I have to go Tim here, and Brian.
The trials and tribulations of doing live shows, kids.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, there's days I'm sweating before I start the show. So nervous. Yeah, right.
Do you get butterflies before the show?
I get butterflies before every show.
Really?
Though I've been doing this for how many 2 years now, I still get like a little nervous. It'll go about 10-15 minutes into the show. I'll start to get a little relaxed. You know, you guys actually get me relaxed. We start talking, and then I feel like, okay, it's just me, Tim, Tom, and Brian. So it's all good.
I mean, look at me. I got crooked glasses. You'd think I should be.
I should be nervous. Up, Tim.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
you're looking rough
as compared to this morning. This morning, woo boy! I didn't want to be on camera.
Were you having a bad hair day, Tim?
Yeah, but see, the thing is, a lot of people like, do you sleep with your hair in a ponytail? And I'm like, no, I don't, and I'll tell you why. Because I actually get more hair ripped out of my skull than I do with it just down. But you wake up and then you got like 14 birds' nests in the damn stuff, and you just walk around all day looking like you walk straight out of The Walking Dead. So I apologize if I scare a few folks, but I stay away from cameras that early in the morning.
Yeah.
I try to avoid cameras as much as possible. I'm just way too handsome.
Why?
I'm just way too handsome.
The cameras might cry with joy, appreciation.
Yes,
for that.
Yeah, it's
chiseled China face.
That's he doesn't want any more followers. What's up, Phil?
What's up, Phil?
Well, Tom's here. JT.
Yeah, we got Morgan in the house.
Morgan, very proud of you, Morgan. Awesome.
I promised JT no bass player jokes tonight. I will stay far away from this.
Yeah, we will stay away from the bass players. Bass players get no love. I don't know why. I think it's not an easy. Well,
it's because they have to look at Facebook all day with all of the memes about how they never get chicks. They're a bitter group. They're a bitter group.
Yeah.
What's up, Corey?
It's not that bad.
No, it's not. It's just. It's like an old joke that just kind of recycles itself, because everybody's like, okay, well, the singer gets all the girls, the guitar player gets all the girls, the drummer gets nothing because no one can see him, and then the bass players are kind of like the lunk of the band. They're just sort of there for rhythm. They don't actually have any. No, and I'm just saying a lot of it is fallacy. It's not true. Bass players get hooked up quite often. It's just. There's lots of Facebook memes in general that would make you think otherwise.
Because that saying, that goes all the way back to me knowing that in the '80s. It's like, oh, that's just a bass player, and then hearing that,
you're old.
I'm the same age.
Yeah, we're the same age. So.
Yeah, but he shows it a lot more than you do, Tim.
It's because I don't let my gray show. I Grecian that shit right out.
I was gonna say hair club for men, hair dye, some shit.
Yeah, Grecian formula. No, I don't. I just you can't see my gray hairs. They blend in with the blood.
That's why I wear a hat.
It blends in with his strawberry hair that he has there too.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And then he just hides it in the vapor cloud, so people can't see it anyway. So it's in the
Makes
vapor.
Total sense.
The dude at the top right. Why are you so quiet? Are you going to say hello to everyone here on Facebook and ZampleBox?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm just I'm always tinkering around, so I'm just kind of like looking for all sorts of different things right now. I'm trying to
Focus. It's
do a
showtime.
little surprise for Tim right now. So
What?
I'm just I'm
What?
just working on it.
What did I do to earn a surprise?
What is he getting? I am
Just
going
cause.
to
Why not? Gotta have fun, right?
cast that there. I am going to move. I got to uncast my screen so I can get ready
Does
for
the surprise begin with LED or RGB?
It begins with L
Loser.
Liquor.
and ends with
get a-
the lights.
Yeah, you get a. I was gonna say you get a loser button for the night. Cool. I'm down.
So our poll question this week on the family page is, what do you think vape shops will be selling 60 ml bottles of e-liquid for? So you guys have any thoughts out there in chat world? Put them down there. We love to hear.
Yeah,
what you
give us a number. 60 ml bottle in a shop. What's it gonna after vape ban, mail ban goes in?
And that's tax. So,
what's that?
with tax. That's
With
everything.
tax, yeah.
I got so many DMs. Is that with tax or without tax? I go, well, let me ask you something. Have you ever paid for something at a shop without paying for tax? No. Well, guess what? That means tax. Good luck. You're going to pay taxes. There's not going to be very many shops that you're not going to pay a tax on. So,
yes, James.
Yes.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Resoundingly yes. There's an Odin 200 and an Odin 100 sitting right behind me on the shelf.
JT,
I forgot about the Odin.
$4.95.
JT Von Base with the marketing number. We won't call that $25. We're going to call that cheaper, $24.95.
Jump off topic, Tom. Have you had any issues with your doors on your top sides? And did you know that someone said that they're sending out doors?
That's news to me.
That? I'm going to have to look into that because now both of mine are doing it. Didn't do it before, but now I can't even sit down the top side without the door popping open.
Well, the carbon, I have the carbon, and I never had a problem with the carbon.
Yeah, that's what I happened to grab.
Yeah, the carbon.
No, even
issues.
Even the dual and the single and the light really don't matter because that's a C style. I've never had a problem with either one.
Yeah. Well, with our pool, you can see that a lot of people, 49 people said $20, which I don't see that. I do not see that. You guys see $20?
I'm not feeling it.
No,
I don't see 20. Not at all.
Wow, Shane's going way up in the 50s.
Well, he said Salt Nick, though. He's talking like a 30 ml bottle of Salt Nick.
But that's the
60 mil.
For 60 mil is actually a pretty good baseline. Usually it's about 30 right now.
Yeah.
For a 30 mil.
The number that I think
$1 a
it's
mil.
going to be at is 35. I think it's going to be right at that 35. One thing I didn't take into consideration doing this poll, there are taxes, but also the fact that each state may have an additional tax per milliliter. So I didn't take that into consideration. I didn't think about that until today when we were talking to Anthony earlier today, and he brought up, how Washington has a 8 cents or 9 cents per tax per milliliter. So that would jump up. Woo, man, I don't even want to do the math. But
try to pour us out of vaping. That's what they're going to try to do.
Yeah, and then we had 33 people said $25, which you may see. I think you may see some of the brands that are not as how do you want to say it, popular or name brand. Can you even say name brand with vaping liquids? I guess you could, huh?
To a point, yeah.
To a point, yeah. I think because everything's kind of regional too, is what I've noticed. Like something back east may be a name brand to where here we don't. We know it exists, but it's just not like something we go shopping for.
Yeah. So answer me, riddle me this, Joker. Since I don't normally frequent the vape shops, I'm an online shopper. Are different brands priced differently in the shops? Excluding like 5 pawns. Let's throw 5 pawns out because they're probably going to always be upper echelon priced out e-liquid. But like say Naked 100 and Silverback, are they going to be priced differently in the shops?
Well, Tim, that depends on the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Some actually have a baseline on pricing, and some say, here, you buy it for this, you sell it for whatever you want. The ones who have baseline pricing are the ones I actually like to go for, because then it's always going to be that price no matter where you go.
Right.
And if it's not that price, if it's over that price at that shop, you can call that manufacturer and say, hey, this shop is selling it for this. And they'll actually call them and either force them to have their price or take the liquids away, which that's something I'm all for.
Well, I mean, I guess that was the thing is I didn't know if like you walked into a vape shop and then most of the premium blends. I mean, I'm not talking house juice or like the stuff that they make.
Right.
I get that you can get that a lot cheaper because they make it in house. Well, not anymore. But
I noticed a difference in price with Kilo back in the days when Kilo was still it still is a hot brand, but I used to notice about a $5 difference in bottle price from a bottle of Kilo.
Yeah.
To a bottle of, say, some other brand that was out there.
Yeah. I never got to that point where I was actually buying e-liquids in the shops. Like I could probably count the number of shops I've been in on one hand.
Yeah.
Because I just never utilized that channel to buy anything, especially like when you saw the price in front of you and you're like, are you joking? I'm not going to pay that. No, I mean, no disrespect to the shops trying to cover their overhead, but I don't think that there is a human being that won't try to find a better price for something if they know they can get it for a better price.
Right. And yeah, Shane, it's going to, with you guys, I think you guys are going to be paying you are already paying 8 cents more per milliliter per bottle there in Washington, because that's what Anthony was talking about today. Is it 8 cents or 9 cents per milliliter?
I don't remember what he said.
Yeah, I think so. That sucks, man. When you have to start adding that on top of state tax as well, and then whatever the price is. What is Shane? What is a bottle of 60 mil right now in Washington of, say, a premium line that's in there? And the shipping cost. Well, the shipping cost is going to brace.
No, that's something different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was about the
ZampleBox.
JT talking about Dowco and the cheap door body and shipping for $30.
I get you. Yeah.
Yeah, but as Brian knows, that shipping cost is going to go up. So for shops, that's going to increase that bottle price in a shop anyway as well. So that's going to affect what we pay for it, because shops are going to have to pay a lot more to have product shipped to their house, to their shops. So that might also affect what we're going to pay. So I figure 35. I think it's going to be right in that $35 range for Premier liquids. But 20, I wish 20 would be nice. 49 people. 20.
I could see like holidays or maybe like doorbuster things, like periodically at shops where they go, okay, like for the next, week or something, all Naked 100 lines are all X or whatever. I mean, they need a lure to get people into the shops, because I guess my estimation is, I'm not saying that a ton of shops are going to open because of this. We could see a few doors open because of it, but it's going to be about competition, And I get that people tend to gravitate or have a favorite shop that they like to go to, but in more dense areas where you're going to find more, you're going to be trying to yank competition from the guy down the street. So, everybody's going to be a conscious shopper. If they can get a good deal on something, they'll go get it.
Yeah, you might be right, because I think some places that have 3 or 4 shops within a mile of each other, you might see some of that, Tim. You might see some like.
Well, we used to.
The other guy out.
Well, we used to. I mean, I've got one right around the corner here, which I went one night. They did like a kind of like a open house kind of thing. Yeah. And, they had like pizza and you could go in and get to know the shop kind of thing. Then we used to have Mad Vapes places sprinkled around. But since then, they've all disappeared. They all vanished. So if I'm sure there are other ones. I just haven't really done a wide, search to see what's available.
Well, hopefully those prices stick there for you there in Virginia. I hope so. I don't think. I think it'd be very upsetting to walk into a shop that you have been paying $20 for, and then all of a sudden you're paying $10 to $15 more per bottle. I'd be. I would not. Indiana, $20 for all Nick's. Yeah, for Nick salts and freebase goes for 25 and 35 for 35 or 120 ml bottles. See, so between 25 and 35. So I'm assuming the 25 is probably the off brand. I don't know what. That's the thing. We see so many different companies now. I can't. I don't know who's the off brand and who is the premier brands anymore.
Right.
I'm at that point. I mean, it's just like, okay, is this a premier brand? It tastes like a premier brand, but is it? You used to be able to judge that. Sadly, you used to be able to judge that on Instagram.
What the premiums and the non-premiums were?
The premiums and the non-premiums. You used to be able to judge that on just their marketing, how they marketed their product. I used to be able to go and see. Well, for me, I know who the top photographers are. Yeah. So if I see so and so and so and so doing pictures for this company, then I kind of got an idea that's a premier brand because they're paying these guys top dollars to take pictures, and where the other guy is probably using the dude that does the hand checks and does the, the quick in the pocket shots, like me, and stuff like that. And that's how I kind of judged what was a premier brand and what wasn't a premier brand.
Yeah, I never really. I think at some point to me, it all just became sort of oversaturation, and it just felt like everything was a premium blend.
Right.
I mean, I guess every now and again, you get a couple in your box or something, and you're like, okay, well, I've never heard of this company before. They're significantly smaller, or not as recognizable of a name. But go to eJuice Connect or any one of the big, online e-liquid vendors, and it's like you just figure everything's a premium blend for the most part. I mean, there's so many vendors now.
Well, let's try it this way, Brian. If you had to name top three premier brands that you know of right now, name the three top premier brands off the top of your head.
I'd probably go 5 Ponds is probably going to be up there guaranteed.
Take 5 Ponds out of it. Take 5 Ponds out of it because not everybody. Yeah, shit. You got to take them right out because that brand doesn't apply to everyone. It just doesn't.
Well, it's still like a top premium brand.
It's pretty much the top shelf of brand. Mm-hmm. So if you were at a bar.
If you were at a bar, 5 Ponds would be the 21-year-old Scotch sitting way up at the top that you just look at.
Yeah, that'd be your top shelf.
So take them out of it. Give me 3 brands that are right off the top of your head that are considered to you as a premium brand.
I would probably do Giant Vapes has some lines like Prism is one of them. They have a few others too in their line. I'm spacing on the brand actually right now, but Telios would be up there. Would be another one. Kilo would be up there. And that's the ones I would think of right off the top of my head is, Kilo and Telios and stuff like that. That's actually been around for quite a while.
Monster Labs. High Drip. And Naked 100.
Yep.
Naked 100, Telios, and Cutwood.
Yeah, see, I would go Barista, I'd go Naked, and then my third one would probably be, Jesus.
You're wearing their hat, John.
Well, Kilo's automatic for me because everything that they make has just been spot on. It's always been good. They got probably the only honeydew that I really enjoy as far as a vape.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take them out of it. But I'm trying to think of the third company other than them that I go out of my way. And I want to say it's, God dang it, man.
Oh, come on. You got that whole room is like a stuffed closet. Just turn around.
I got it, but I'm trying to think of the company that I kind of put right up there with the rest of them. And
oh, shoot. I got one on my shelf, too, that it's like eluding me right now. It's like tucked in the back. I got like Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd. Anyway, it's irrelevant. But Robbie, why is that though? I'm looking at Robbie's last
Yeah.
statement. What is the symptom of that? I mean, now granted, I don't know all of the laws in Virginia. As far as I know, they haven't banned flavored vaping. They haven't taken away it exclusively like New York. Why is it that those shops are suffering so bad that they're closing? And knowing what's on the horizon.
If I had to guess, and I'm just going to spitball here, I'm going to say it's probably what this last year what happened this past year
Yeah,
with the pandemic.
it could be. It could be something too with their cities. Maybe having certain bans and taxes. Has there been taxes added to per milliliter there? I don't think so. I don't think we've heard anything from Virginia.
Well, I mean, when you're saying 40 shops shut down, I mean that's extremely symptomatic of something that happened in that state.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's, because I guess you could, a COVID lockdown could, I thought, and maybe I'm mistaken, so vape shops were not deemed essential, correct?
Right.
I thought that they were in some cases because people, it's like cigarettes, right? You got to be able to.
I thought it was a state by state basis.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Is I don't know how that worked in Virginia. I don't know if vape shops were effectively deemed, non-essential, and they were, to shut their doors, not serve customers.
Isn't Virginia one of those states too that like a pack of cigarettes is like $3?
Well, I lived in Virginia almost all my life. I grew up in North Arlington, right outside of D.C., and I always recall cigarettes being reasonably cheap by most standards, only because Virginia, one of their primary crops is tobacco. So clearly they could keep the prices down. I have Candy King's good.
Yeah.
Although they have like kind of a bad thing.
They've got a bad marketing team there, which hopefully
I don't want to get started on Candy King.
They learned their lesson, I think, somewhat, but I think they're still they still have a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths when you hear that name, Candy King. And I get it. I mean, they're kind of the reason we were running into a lot of this issue with their labeling. But did they clean up? I haven't seen a Candy King label in quite some time.
I have, I think, a couple bottles left, and it's still Candy King. It's still, I mean, to me, I don't see what would have changed.
It's not.
Would you like me to go get it? I'll go get it.
Maybe not as cartoony.
It's not as cartoony, and Brian, you're not supposed to have pictures of fruit any longer on the label, correct? Or we're told not to.
Real quick, everybody excuse the echo. That's Tim's microphone.
Yeah.
All right. It's only a short walk. It's a shorter walk than my mailbox. I'll just put it I'll say that much.
Hey, you got your steps in, man.
All right, so that's what the boxes look like.
Yeah.
So
to
me
that's not bad.
That's not bad. They cleaned it up a lot more than it.
Yeah, that's better than it was. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, and I think they're all. I mean, other than the flavor profile, the color scheme changes, but
it's still a damn good juice.
It's wonderful juice. It's great. It's great juice. I mean, I really like this one, which is the hard apple. It's iced. I go for the iced lines, and then this one is a berry. I can't read it. It's in the dark. What does that even say?
Yeah, see a pack of cigarettes, $5 to $8 for a pack of cigarettes there in Virginia.
Berry something. I can't read it.
I asked a local gas station owner the other day what a pack of cigarettes cost now. And she goes, well, what did you smoke? I told her. She goes, yeah, those are about $9 now.
Okay.
Wow.
That's high in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Here in Modesto, I think it's $9 a pack now too. $9 for a pack of cigarettes. But me and Tim go back to the day I paid. My first pack was 73 cents.
I can't go back.
I don't know that I remember them being that cheap. I remember somewhere in the couple dollar range, I think, maybe. Yeah. Then I ended up going to New York for a business trip one time, and I was like, I need a pack. I walked into the store, and I got one pack, and the lady goes 10 something. And I said, no, I said one pack.
Yeah, I only want one, lady.
She goes, that is one. Yeah, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah. But then I got to Australia, and I'm like, Holy Ebenezer, what you guys are paying basically a small mortgage just to buy a pack of smokes in Australia. I mean, they just try to make it so expensive.
Last I checked, Morgan, or I asked her too what a carton was, and she said it was about 90 here in Wisconsin.
I think 90 is about average.
Yeah, when I
places.
started, it was 73 cents a pack, and I remember all through that, like when it gets to $1, I quit. When it gets to $1.25, I quit. When it gets to $1,
I remember saying that too. When it gets to 5, I'm done. When it gets to 6, I'm done. 7, done.
yeah, a carton of Marlboros for $8, dude. Jeez, Christ. Yeah, because I remember back then, back in the 80s, when there was a place where I used to get my cigarettes, and guys would come in there because they were so cheap back then. They would buy a case. They would pre-order a case of cigarettes. So they would come and pick up a box of cigarettes with I don't know how many in a box, but
Probably 24 cartons.
yeah,
Would be my guess.
insane. And now you think about you do that, you basically. I don't even think they would even allow that today. Go into a shop, into a cigarette place, and order a case.
I don't know that a store would be partial to what you want to order. I mean, there's a little store right around the corner here. My ex-wife smoked, and she wanted this one kind. And, I would go in there, and the lady would go, "You're only 1 or 2 people that asked for that brand." She goes, "But I'll make sure that from now on I get 4 or 5 cartons since you're in here a lot." So if I said, "Look, I'll just take a case," I'm sure she would have done it.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you for supporting my habit.
Yeah.
Newports are the most, highest price per pack. I don't get that too. I mean, Newports and I forget the other brand. That's they're so expensive, and I don't get it. I don't know if it's just maybe it's not. Is it maybe tobacco shipped from somewhere else? Is that possible? I mean,
No, I used to smoke Newports all the time, and they were pretty expensive.
yeah,
That's the reason why I would
high.
switch to Camels instead.
Yeah, marbles are high.
Yeah, I went through all the menthol.
Virginia Slims. That's the one I'm thinking about. Virginia Slims.
The toothpicks of all cigarettes.
Yeah, those were very expensive, man.
They were all shishi.
Yeah, Cools and Virginia Slims were very expensive. American Spirits.
You could literally have your fingers together.
Yeah. But you look so sophisticated, Tim.
No, I did not.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, I mean, hopefully we all hope that a lot of the vape shops use this opportunity to keep the customers coming in and have some pricing that's I don't think anybody expects to pay what they paid online. I mean, that's not going to happen. But hopefully these shops understand what's going on. Don't go for the price grab, but actually go for trying to keep that customer coming back. Yeah. So adjust pricing to where it's somewhat still affordable, where you don't feel like, Jesus Christ, you're kidding. But like tell anybody else, I mean, take what you're going to be paying for that bottle of juice there. And then say you were to just order that one bottle off a website, you're still going to pay about $8 to ship it. So add that in there. You're still probably right within that price range. Yeah. So you're still basically going to be paying about what you're going to be paying for it when you add in the shipping costs. Because I mean, how many of us really go into a vape shop and order more than one bottle? Do you pick up more than one bottle when you're at a shop?
Usually I'll pick up 2. But well, I like changing for flavors. But yeah, don't be charging $100 for 100 mil.
Yeah, that's not. You're gonna just piss them off. I mean, this is their chance. This is what they were bitching. I shouldn't say bitching about. They were complaining about.
They were bitching about it.
Yeah, competing with the online vendors. Well, now here you go. You got an opportunity to have new faces come into your shop. You got an opportunity to help these people stay off of smoking and keep them away from going and buying a pack of cigarettes. Now, if you started this shop for the right reasons and you want to keep that customer coming back and happy, then adjust those pricings to where at least the guy doesn't give you a dirty ass look when you're ringing it up, dude.
Right.
Well, I just sort of feel like the way that shops were compensating in a lot of ways was that from what I hear from a pricing perspective is that they were trying to like more or less maximize profit, you know, and cover overhead on one-off kind of items. You know, they were like pushing them to the literal brink because, I mean, unless you're somebody who's just money is really not an issue for you, you know, you've got a lot of, you know, as Grim would like say, got a lot of budget hands going on. And if a person is going to walk into the shop and they're only going to walk out with one thing, or you're really stretching their pocket to get them into something that, you know, that they're, you know, not quite sure what they've really got just yet. Or, I mean, because those sales are going to be people that just don't know vaping. They don't have any friends that are into vaping, or they might only have a couple that just don't have the wealth of knowledge that we have.
Those are some very good pricing there in Northwestern Ohio.
Oh, it is
really
actually.
is.
Jeez.
And even if you increase all them by 5, that's still not bad.
I would never shop online if I could get those prices here.
Same.
Yeah, well, my point is that hopefully that's placated somehow by the shift in the industry and people having to go now buy things at a localized store for the most part, unless people are willing to pay for the shipping prices on other things. But my point is that they'll somehow find a way to balance that so that same amount of money that they were maximizing to pay for one thing, a person can walk in and get 2 or 3 things. And they, you know, in their mind's eye, they get more for their money, you know, rather than being like, God, I got to pay, you know, 40 for this and 40. That's $120. I walk out with 3 bottles of juice.
Yeah.
It might last me a week and a half. How am I going to maintain this habit, you know?
Yeah. And at least, I mean, this is a great opportunity for them because they're not just going to be selling juice to these guys. Now they got an opportunity to sell hardware and coils. So it's like, you finally got that online shopper to come in. Now this guy, maybe he needs I don't vape a sub-ohm tank, so let's just go wild guess. 2 coils every 2 weeks, a coil a week.
About a coil a week.
Yeah, I would say, you know, average is about 5 days. You know, moderate use.
Yeah, so this is an opportunity to get that guy to come in and not just come in to buy, you know, 260 ml bottles of e-liquid, but an opportunity to sell them hardware and batteries and coils and tanks and stuff like that. So hopefully, you know, maybe they can make their money back there. I mean, I know my shop may be a little off, but you know, when I walked into that shop and they were selling the smoke G press, the G press or whatever was that called? For $120 with the tank. Now that's just, to me, that there's no, I mean, maybe somebody pays that. I have no idea, but knowing that I could go get that item on a website back then for, I think it was $85. I think it was selling for $85 online with the tank, and he was selling it for $120 in the store. So hopefully that they make those changes that are going to be necessary to keep that person coming in, because I think some people that may be on the edge and all of a sudden like, okay, now I gotta spend an extra $20 for this bottle of I might as well be smoking, and I hope that doesn't happen. So hopefully they adjust it, and just like it does really depend on the distributors, but I think distributors are going to end up paying a little bit more to ship products to stores, right, Brian? So there might be a little bit of a markup there as far as what the shops are going to be able to have to sell it. But I don't know. I mean, we don't know. We don't know who's going to be shipping what. We don't know how much they're going to be charging to ship this product to them.
We'll find out soon.
Well, some of those shops, like they have multiple shops in that state too, so they could just get one bulk and spread it all around to get a lot cheaper prices too. Because if you get stuff by like the pallet, it's a lot cheaper, you know. So, you know, it's who knows how the chain line is.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Hey Jake, when you say you're paying £10 for a bottle of juice, are you talking a premium blend or like a vape shop house blend? I don't know what you can and can't do in the UK in terms of
Well,
Right.
he's paying $10 for 100 mils, but then he's got to buy the
10
nicotine.
pounds.
He's got to buy his shots too. So
Yeah, well, right. There's a currency conversion there, but that's my question though. I mean, yeah, theirs is different where you get like the base and then you get the nick and then you mix all that. So I mean, maybe that does change the game a little bit because I mean we're getting everything pre-blended here. Although I did see one person on a forum, I mean in a group, they went to a site and bought some juice and they sent them the juice and the nick separate.
Yeah.
$250 for a Lost Vapes and Tires.
That's about $100 high.
I mean, enjoy your shelf queen there,
well,
whatever
hey,
your shop name is.
that's how I felt when he told me how much he wanted for that mod, that smock mod. I was like, are you freaking crazy? No, that's what I paid.
Those Lost Vape mods in shops, they're actually pretty expensive. And $250, like $200 for that mod sounds about right around here. You know, so
It's for what?
Yeah. And right
$125
now, we have the luxury of saying, well, we can get it cheaper online.
Yeah,
In a couple months, we lose that option April 1st.
Well,
completely.
but
Right.
do we? I mean,
I don't know.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that it's going to be like it was before. But I mean, with some of the recent announcements from some online distributors who have somehow secured, this small carrier network
Right.
to facilitate, are we really going to see a massive price hike?
I don't know. We'll find out.
I mean, because how do you price something like that? I mean, we know that e-liquid's going to come with a per milliliter tax in a lot of cases. But I happened to see a couple things that said, like, if you buy anything less than $100, it was like $11.99 for shipping. Anything over $100, it dropped it down to like $9 or something like that. And then anything over $150 was like $5 in shipping. So if you figure you're going to go buy a Lost Vape mod, shipping's going to be probably about what you paid before.
Yeah, so he's paying $13 for 100 mils and $1.80 for his nick. Most premier brands.
Hey, I gotta say, like I wrote in chat, we're dumb Americans that can't math well. So thanks for that.
Yeah, he did the conversions for us. Yeah, see, we don't know how that's going to work. I don't even know how that's. I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to work. I mean, coil wise, now you're talking this JB coils. That's basically they don't sell any hardware there. So
no, but that's a handmade custom coil builder.
Right, so
I think we're more addressing things like Falcon tank coils and Valerian tank coils and the things that you see people get on the regular. I mean,
the sub-ohm tank stuff.
Yeah,
not the
order coil. You can order coils. They got a couple companies that are already on Amazon that are selling coils in there. So that's another alternative if you want pre-made coils and wire and coils. Which brands were on there, but
isn't Holland Coil still going to be still sending out coils since that's all they really do?
Yeah, I don't know. I would like to talk to him, see what they got going on. But yeah, I think that I walked into India. They were selling Aegis kits for $120. Jesus Christ!
Okay, so that is a little expensive. And when I say a little, I'm exaggerating. It's a lot expensive.
Capacity. Yeah, you guys. You know what? That is like when we were talking about what I would give up. That's one of the things I would go ahead and say, okay, you know what? Give me a 2 mil tank. I'm fine with that. If that'll make you guys happy that we're walking around with a 2 mil tank, great.
I'd rather have 4.
But isn't that what a lot of the tank companies are doing? They're just throwing like this rubber grommet in there to like reduce the tank size down to 2 mil. You take that sucker out and it's 4 mil. I mean, it's
some
TPD.
Do, some actually include like a bubble glass instead to make it a bit higher. But the main the Lost Vape Ubex tank, that's a 2 mil tank. But then with the bubble glass, it becomes like a 4 mil.
Yeah. No, I know that they're doing that. But like, for example, like I got the QP Juggernaut V2, and it came with these 2 rubber grommets that were seated inside some of the perforations. And then all you had to do was just take the tank apart and yank the sons of bitches
Was
out.
it
and you were
Aspire,
done.
I think, came out with that first?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Theirs was at the top.
Yeah, is there a quick way to get around that?
Yeah,
Yep.
the vaping industry is all about loopholes. You give us a loophole, we'll find it.
We'll plow through that some bitch like a Kool-Aid man through a wall.
Well,
Yeah.
JT was saying about shipping like online gun sales, and I don't know if a lot of people know how that really works.
It's a pain in the ass.
But essentially, what it is that you can buy weaponry online, but it has to ship to a FFL dealer, which is like a gun store, shop, pawn shop, what have you.
Yeah.
And then
To
you
a
go there and fill
federal-
out the paperwork, and then you can pick it up. This, in our case, we've already, I think a few weeks ago we talked about shipping to stores and stuff, and how it could be a good thing and could be a bad thing. I mean, I think that some shops are going to take more advantage of it, and you say, oh, your stuff didn't show up, you have to buy it here now instead, or try to upsell you with other stuff. And some shops welcome it, and they say, hey, just come pick up your stuff. If you need anything else, let us know. If not,
it'll come
be
down
on
to
your
the
way.
various
Yeah.
shops.
I mean, it's another advantage doing it that way. I mean, because you get that customer in the shop. So there's something may catch his eye, and he's just like, hey, you know what? I think I do want a new sub-ohm tank. And
Yeah, impulse buy.
yeah, or like, oh shit, I'm out of wire. I don't know if shops are going to be selling wire, but
Probably not.
probably not.
But you never know.
you need
And
cost-
Robbie, yes, it will affect DIY as well.
Yeah, because how are you going to get nicotine?
that is the next one that's going to be on their list of. They know those days where these congressmen and these senators had no clue how our system worked are gone. They know everything. They know everything that we need to vape now. It's not like it was back in the day where they didn't understand that we needed these coils. They didn't understand that we needed cotton or batteries and all this other stuff. They know every little detail of what we need now to vape, and they're going to go after it. And as far as flavors, that may be next. I mean, I don't know how they would do a flavor thing, because I could say I own a bakery or I need flavoring for my cookies that I make, special cookies that I make.
And to carry off that, every time they pass a new set of rules or guidelines, laws, whatever, they watch to see what we do, and so we figure out the loopholes that they then go in and close.
Yeah, well, disposables might get attacked as well.
Yeah, they get hammered as well.
Well, what Robbie was saying too about the DIY stuff, we cover that too a couple different times, and it's not about getting the flavorings of the bottles or the chubbies or anything else like that. What it comes down to is getting your nicotine, and that's going to be your issue. I mean, to me, it would make sense if you could get your flavorings and all that stuff, and everything mailed to you, but you have to go to the store and get nicotine, kind of like guns, where you can get almost any part of a gun except for like the frame of the gun. Yeah, it's called a lower, but it's the
receiver.
frame. Yeah, it's called the frame.
Right.
You can get anything else shipped to your house, and I could see this being the same thing, that where they might take it apart like that and say, hey, you can get everything else but this.
Yeah.
Right. This one specific part has to go.
What they may even do is just they're always going to try to find a way to make some money. The government's always going to try to find a way. So they may even just say, hey, you can get nicotine shipped to your house, but you need a nicotine license. You're going to have to pay so much a year for this nicotine license to have nicotine shipped to your house. So I could see them pulling some tricky shit like that, where you're going to have to pay this $150 a year nicotine license to have nicotine sent to your house. So, I mean, they'll find a way. They'll always find a way to get us. Go ahead, Tom.
The government, in my opinion, is a lot like the mafia. They want their taste.
Hey.
Am I wrong?
Hey.
What do you think taxes are? It's their taste.
Yeah, you need security money.
Right.
You need. Yeah. They may just do something like that. Charge some sort of license fee to get you to order nicotine, and then they'll make it difficult to get that license. They'll say, well, you need to have this type of clean area. Or you might need to have, you can't have any children here. It's like, who knows?
You have to jump through all kinds of hoops.
Yeah. Well, we are going to jump into some news with Mr. Tim Swift here.
You put me on the spot. Shit.
I know. I'm giving you time. Take your time. The bumper comes first, Timmy.
I know. I'm not worried about
Don't
it.
forget to tap them papers.
Hey, you better tap those papers as soon as the bumper's done. All right. Here we go.
Well, hello everybody. You can just call me Tappy McTapperton with my newspapers here. Yeah. So I thought I made a promise last week that I wasn't going to talk about anything negative.
You
You
lied.
did.
Wasn't that the promise that
You
that
did.
was? Yeah, and unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to break that promise. Well,
You're really concerned over it, too.
yeah, well, the reason being is that one of the articles tonight is actually kind of a big one. It's an important one with regard to vaping in general. Not that we don't already have enough dumb shit happening right now, but I thought this one was worthy of some merit, and we'll get into that. Let's get into this. Oh wait, I hit the wrong button. I stopped the cam when I meant to share.
Boy, you aren't ready, huh?
Yeah, I really was. No, I'm button mashing. All right. So, I think everyone can see the title of that article. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's take the first word out of the sentence. Let's just call them politicians, right? Because I'm not trying to preach to the right, preach to the left, or anything like that. It just so happens that there is a particular group of politicians that tend to be a little bit more vocal about this than others.
A little more blue leaning.
Yes, so
Party
it's,
badger.
it's not surprising. Yeah, it's not surprising to me to see that this article from The Hill, by the way. So this is not coming from some rag on the check at the checkout counter. This is coming from a reputable news source. But this is somewhat recent, and I'm sure a lot of this was spurred by the fact that the House is now, well, the House was controlled before. But with regard to the vape mail ban, I think the unique difference with regard to the vape mail ban is that one, although authored by the blue side, there was a lot of bipartisan support for that. So you had both parties signing on to that and effectively making that case because they wanted to try to get it out of the hands of kids. And we all know the kids aren't getting it from online. They're getting it other ways. So this one crept up. This is Democrats urge the FDA to clear market of all flavored e-cigarettes. Yeah, and you know that they're going to throw their weight around. So this entailed 43 House Democrats who sent a letter to the head of the FDA urging them to take all flavored cigarettes off the market. Now, that doesn't mean just vapes. They want to go after other flavored forms of tobacco as well, as they see those as an addiction. So you're looking at menthol cigarettes, but this mostly addresses vaping. I think there's still a lot of frustration on the political side. They feel as though Trump didn't do enough to react when he had his opportunity to shut it down. Of course, we all know that during that time, that was more related to the Valley cases and why that became so prevalent. But there was a lot of ancillary things that were kind of swooping around the outside. But we were all living in fear, pretty much thinking that a federal flavor ban was coming down. Well, not that there isn't important stuff in the world to worry about, that apparently vaping is somewhere up there at the top level of stuff to really be worried about. Let's forget opioids and, alcoholism and
The
all those
current
other
pandemic.
things. Yeah, the pandemic. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's a nothing burger now, Tom. I
Yeah,
mean, the
I know.
vaccine's out, so I mean, why do we
Yeah.
have to worry about that kind of stuff?
Thank you, Pfizer.
Yeah, thanks Johnson and Johnson for that 72%. Appreciate it. That wasn't even the 80-20 rule. You couldn't even get to 80. So flavored, this is their quote. They said flavored e-cigarettes are putting a new generation of kids at risk of nicotine addiction and serious health harms that result from tobacco use. And we kind of know where all that yam comes from, and that's basically a bunch of, I don't want to say
Malarkey.
farcical reports, but they're reports that aren't really substantiated. If you really read into those articles, they include lots of words like could, might. It's possible. There's nothing that they can specifically point at and say that. So heading the letter campaign is Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I'm sure people are probably familiar with that name. She was very prominent in the sort of the Hillary debacle when they kind of she was running her campaign, and the guy was the techie guy who somehow was allowed to go home with the computers or worked on the computers. And you remember that guy? I don't remember his name. Anyway, she was the head of that campaign. So she's heading it up. She's spearheading it. And then another Democrat from Colorado named Diana. I'm probably saying this wrong. It looks French to me, but it's Deguette or Degeette. Deguette. I don't know how to pronounce that. But they are the two ones that are sort of spearheading it. The goal from the goal by this commission of 43 House Senate Democrats, they want to ban all flavored e-cigarettes upon further review, and end the exemption the FDA has for menthol cigarettes and disposable e-cigarettes. So that's why I said they're going to start coming after the disposables as well. They will not be untarnished. Now, I think they're also highly aware that I think some of the puff bars and things of that nature, they've been able to sidestep some of those regulations by one company is now starting to use synthetic nicotine. I think that was one of the companies that's starting to do that. So they're able to sort of sidestep some of the exemptions, but they want to end that. They additionally want to ban the PMTAs that have already been submitted last year and any marketing of e-cigarettes that target minors. I think that's highly subjective. The marketing side of things, you could take anything and say, well, because it has a flavor involved in the name and it's a cute picture, that it's targeting children. But ban the PMTAs. They effectively want to shut down the PMTA process. And that's pretty bold, being that, these are the FDA's rules. They're challenging the FDA's deeming rule. And they're still using the term epidemic in their argument regarding youth usage. So they still like to go back to the numbers from a year or so ago, when the youth tobacco surveys came out and things like that, where they were kind of claiming that because of these certain percentages based on high schoolers, middle schoolers, and people under a certain age, they were calling it an epidemic. However, we know that those numbers were twisted to the point where even someone who tried it once in 30 days was considered a current user. Okay, one time, they're done. They've already been asked the question. They tried it 3 weeks ago, but because it was 3 weeks ago, tried it once, you're a current user, and they put you down on the books as that. So there's no actual epidemic. It's like 4% total, I think, of all of the kids that are, in school or considered in the certain age groups. I think it's a total of 4% across the board. So this is what they're also requesting. They're requesting that the PMTA review process require manufacturers to provide convincing evidence that their products do not increase youth use of nicotine and tobacco in ways that increase the risk of abuse and addiction among youth. Well, you already have laws, okay? It's illegal for them to vape in the first place. So how can I convince you of anything where people are going underneath the covers and getting it illegally anyway? Regulation should be at the, laws on the books should be at the front, spearheading this. You should be able to try to stop some of that. We won't be able to stop it all. Kids are kids. Kids are going to go and do whatever they're going to do anyway. We all did. I think I lost.
Uh-oh.
He unplugged himself.
I unplugged and
You're back.
So I'm back. I saw John's mouth move. That's why. But yeah, so you need to exact the laws, hold people accountable. I realize that the shops are doing a wonderful job at deterring that. I think that there's plenty of steps that could be taken to deter it online. Of course, a very small percentage of children or kids were saying they were even getting their products online anyway. I think it was like 2% of the total surveyed that they were getting anything online. The majority of kids get it from their friends or from someone older in the house that goes and buys it for them. So they're if you're going to attack anything, why would you attack the online business? If if your plan is to try to stop older people from buying it and then handing it to kids, well, then I guess maybe you accomplish that to some degree. But again, if you really looked at the numbers, that's not what's going on, right? Yeah, a lot of us. I mean, I did. Hell yeah.
Until I was 21. No, I'm kidding.
His nose is hitting the camera right now. Yeah, no, we all did. I mean, and I'm not saying that I'm not surprised by the fact that kids are actually vaping. I mean, sure, why not? It's something new. It's something trendy. It's something fat. I just don't think that it's something that's taken a root.
Yeah.
With the youth. I don't think it's something that is persistent. I think that they're just going to move on to the next thing that's cool or whatever, because like with anything, something that goes away, there's a vacuum behind it. Something else will fill that void. So
yeah, and on top of that, it's not cheap.
No, it's not. Well, and at this point, at this stage in the game, if the kids are still going to be trying to obtain it, it's not getting any cheaper for them.
No.
I mean, we're already sitting here complaining about spending $35 on a 60 ml bottle of juice. No kid, 14 years old, unless his parents are friggin' stinking rich, is getting an allowance to substantiate, a habit like that on the regular.
No. And let's be honest, when did we drink?
I was probably 15, 16.
On the weekends, though. On the weekends.
Yeah, like I wasn't like busting out of the house to go get hammered during the week. Right. Like we were at friends' houses and stuff.
So basically, back then we needed maybe $5-10 by Friday or Saturday.
20,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but we could do that cutting lawns or something like that. I mean, most of us had some fun.
With
you had to
vaping,
get your cigarettes too.
With vaping, though, that teenager's got to come up with, a good $20-30 every few days, because he's going to run out of pods or he's going to run out of juice. So that's what I'm getting at. With these teenagers, they're not drinking every day. They're waiting for the weekend. So they got their $10. It's not a habit that's costing them a lot of money. But with vaping, I just don't believe the numbers. I think that's what I'm getting at. I don't believe that there are 4 million teenagers vaping.
Yeah.
I just believe the numbers.
Morgan, I think the reason that is, and I don't think that it's that they're not concerned about it, but I just think that the whole issue around vaping is so magnified right now. Basically, we're under a lens. Ever since the Valley started last year, prior to COVID really hitting, when it was all over the news, I think that's when vaping ultimately went under the microscope. Now, I've shown pictures before of confiscations. There was a study done. I don't remember one of the articles I had where a certain organization asked schools to report on what they had obtained from kids in the schools, and it was a menagerie of stuff. However, do you guys remember that picture?
Yeah, I remember that picture.
Yeah, and Morgan, the thing that there was a picture of most of was not Sauron airs and Juul pod systems. The greater majority was THC pens.
Yep.
That was the largest conglomerate of confiscated items in the schools. But it's like with anything. It's like the kids are just not held accountable for it. They would much rather slap the kids on the hand, take it from them, piss them off, and then just kind of wash their hands of it. I don't think kids were getting expelled for vaping. I'm sure the parents were probably called, so that's really down to the parents. So, I mean, I don't think that the drugs was overlooked. It just seems as though vaping usurped all of that and was made the issue for everyone to focus on, maybe to take focus off of the drugs. I don't really know. Yeah. But this just concerns me that the government contingent is pushing even harder now to still, even with vape mail bans, with contingent bans in particular states, which it's the state's responsibility to govern that element. And now we have a large conglomerate of the federal government now still pushing even harder for a flavor ban when there's really no epidemic to speak of. It's not what it's made up to be. So my takeaway from that article was just clearly a power play for control. And I said, dare I say that I find it unique that this is a Democratic Party push without any bipartisan support like the vape mail ban. Vote these people out. If you live in those states, like you can probably go find I'm sure. Well, unfortunately, they didn't list the 43 people.
No, it's just
I'm sure you can look it up.
But yeah, like if you get wind of your senators and your governors and stuff like that, man, if you got to jump party line to get what you want, you got to put somebody in there that's going to fight for the things that you care about.
Right.
And not just worry about what side you lay in alliance with. I think that's you got to look at policy versus the person's relationship overall. And I think that's what we're seeing more and more is that, we have to get ugly in different ways. Whether it's standing up and speaking at a public hearing or whether it's going and signing a petition or something like that. The bottom line is you don't have to keep that person in that seat. We can certainly lobby to vote that person out. I would do it in a second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I just don't think I'm not wholeheartedly sold on the fact that it's purely a bipartisan issue. I don't think it's strictly a conservative versus liberal issue. I think it's that person and what they think they're doing to exact something that their constituents want. Yeah. And that's not necessarily the truth. And I certainly don't want someone representing me who doesn't stand up for the things that I care about. Yeah. So vote them out.
Yeah, and if you can't vote them out, you could still put pressure on them.
Yep.
Schedule meetings with them, sit downs with them, talk to them, get rallies going, do something. Just don't let them think that we're just a pushover. And I think a lot of these politicians think we're pushovers right now.
They seem to. Sorry to interrupt, John.
Go ahead,
politicians seem to think that that they don't work for us, the voting populace, and they're very much wrong because they do.
Yep. Yes.
They think they work for the special interest groups, the lobbyists, whoever's got the deepest pockets to pay them. Yep. No.
Get over there, make an appointment, sit down, talk with them, let them know how you feel about what's going on, and get a group of people to do the same.
Yeah.
That's when they open their eyes. Unfortunately, that's the world they live in is numbers, voting numbers. So if she's getting an appointment every 3 days with some vapor that she doesn't want to sit down and talk to for an hour, she's gonna maybe it'll open her eyes. Who knows?
Yeah. So I would just say for everybody that was privy to this article now, I would keep your heads on a swivel on this one. I'm sure CASA is well aware of this. I'm sure. But CASA is very measured in their approach. They're not going to, you certainly can start emailing and contacting these people now. There's nothing to stop you from getting on their page and sending them a personal email or calling them on the phone and just voicing your opinion but right now there's no bill. There's nothing on the table right now.
No, right now it's just a letter.
And I don't even see, and now granted the FDA regulates tobacco, I still think something like this, the FDA can't just come out tomorrow and go, we're banning flavors. This has to go through its regular route. Right. What they want is the FDA to support what it is, the agenda that they're gunning for, so that when they do scribe a bill and try to push it across the table, they have the backing of the FDA, which to other governors would look at. All right, moving along.
Do we have good news now?
Yes.
Yay.
Promise?
Yes.
All right.
How far this goes as good news, that I can't promise you. I don't know. This was a UK study out of Bristol. A lot of good news about vaping comes from the UK. Seems as though we've got some honest engine scientists and study groups that actually try to find the health benefits in vaping. But a lot of the studies, and one of the arguments that you hear a lot going on, is that they don't know enough now. Like here in America, that's their pitch. Well, we don't know enough based on all of the studies to specifically say whether or not it has any extended health benefits. But we can sure as hell tell you all how horrible it is. We can tell you that it's going to ruin. But this is a study by a group, scientific. What was It's a peer-reviewed study that was done in the UK, released on March 19th, very recently. It was a peer-reviewed study, and it was published in the Toxicological Research and Application publication. I'm not familiar with that publication at all. But it was a study that was done on acute exposure of a 3D human bronchial tissue model to e-cigarette aerosol versus combustible tobacco smoke. So they were able to create a study that isolated an exposure to both the same exposure to both aerosols. I guess because smoking's not an aerosol, it's a smoke, right? But I guess they still kind of refer to it as an aerosol. So they isolated. I'm trying to read my note here. But what they found was overall that the exposure to e-cigarette aerosols had a minimal impact on gene expression compared to smoke from combustible cigarettes. So the research involved, God, they always throw these big words at me. My mother would be proud right now.
Come on, sound it out.
So the research involved a subcytotoxic exposure to cells in a 3D model to nicotine-containing vape aerosol, combustible cigarettes, and fresh air controls under strict laboratory conditions. And apparently what they were able to do is they were able to explicitly isolate this model. There was no interference from anything other than what they were trying to study. And so they exposed this 3D model to the same levels of inhalation. And what they found is that after cell recovery periods of both 4 and 48 hours, scientists assessed the expression of a variety of genes to determine if any were increased or decreased by the single exposure. So that was what they were trying to target specifically. Yeah. What they did find in the end was that cigarette smoke triggered significant changes in gene expression regarding oxidative stress and inflammation makers versus a very minimal impact by vape aerosol. So they were not seeing the same reaction from people from this model being exposed to vapor aerosols. So I guess that they had these waiting periods is kind of how this works. So they exposed the 3D model to the aerosol and the smoke, and then they kind of checked on things after a 4-hour period and then after a 48-hour period to see how the lungs would recover from that exposure. Now, someone who's vaping all the time or someone who's smoking all the time obviously is going to have more, they're going to be consistently reintroducing that back into their system. But they said in cigarettes, no pathways were activated after 4 hours of exposure, which I thought was interesting. So, you take a drag off a cigarette or whatever, but so after 4 hours, there was no pathways activated. However, after 48 hours, 2 days, was that 48 hours? That's 2 days later.
Yes.
Both genes that they were targeting were activated in relation to cell cycle and cell death. So I don't know what an actual cell cycle is. I'm guessing that's from the point of being damaged to recovery. That's considered a full cycle, or compromised as back to normal. That, I guess that would be a cycle of a cell. And cell death. So smoking was actually killing cells, which is very interesting to note. When vaping aerosol was introduced, no pathways were activated after 48 hours. So 48 hours later, there was no gene alteration. There was no breakdown cell death. The cell cycles were normal. The recovery period was nominal and normal. And only during the 4-hour period did they have a slightly elevated gene reaction during that time. So the bottom line is that they, based on this study, that was peer-reviewed and specifically isolated, they found that vape aerosols are far less harmful to the lungs than combustible tobacco. To that, I just say, duh. Duh.
I have a duh sound effect, but I can't find it.
Yeah, so I don't think that anybody is surprised by these results. I think the problem that we have with studies like this, especially when you're talking about the unique differences between, say, the UK and the United States. In the UK, they have a public health system. In the United States, we have a private healthcare system. Totally different things drive those two systems. In a public healthcare system, they're driven to try to find resolution to health issues, right? Because that's the goal, is to get the public healthier on a genuine level. Here in America, they want us sick and addicted. That's what they want. If everybody gets healthy, then big pharma's out of business, right? If everyone gets off of smoking, if everybody gets off of smoking, then big tobacco's out of business. And a lot of that money that comes from those two or conglomerates gets funneled back into our government. So there's a little bit of, malarkey going on, I guess, is one way of saying that. I just think that more studies like this should be done in America. I think that colleges, medical institutions, places with those kinds of reputations should be putting more honest research like this into cause and effect from vaping versus other things. So I don't know why we're not getting that in America nearly as much.
Because a lot of these pharmaceutical companies are funding a lot of these colleges programs. So that's
Right.
the big problem.
And JT, you're right on that one, and that was, I believe, the Cochrane study. Am I wrong? Am I wrong in that one? The 5-year study on the COPD and the health and lungs and stuff after people who would. That's the Cochrane study, which is another really good one. Again, another UK study, and what I really liked about that one specifically was the fact that they're not influenced by conflict of interest groups or any outside funding that would cause them to be influenced in their studies. They stay completely clear of that, whereas in America that doesn't happen that way. You have Bloomberg and his idiots, funding stuff to push particular results. So there's that. So nice article. I hope that there's some. This is a recent study that's out. I hope that it's used in the argument. But for some reason, America doesn't like to believe scientists in other countries. I don't know why.
Yeah, all the links to this articles that Tim is talking about tonight, I've been posting on the YouTube channel. So if you want to find those links and want to read those articles, they're in there. I just put the aerosol one in there just now.
And for your guys' benefit, I try to find articles that aren't too weighty. They're like, just like where you're like scrolling for like a half an hour to read the whole thing. I try to keep. Like if you look at this one, it's not that long, right? So it's not a heavy read. Normally, what they'll do too, and I don't see it in here, they would give you a link to that actual publication, and I'm not seeing that. So I don't know if you want to follow up with something like this and read more, you could try to look for that. The toxicological research and application, whatever that journal is. I'm sure you could probably find it online. All right. So that's the good news article to offset the bad news article. I guess we got to end on some bad news then. Oh, my article went away. Hold on, let me switch over. Hold on. I don't know why it went away.
If your article went away, then that means there's no bad news, right?
Yeah. Well, you know how sometimes when you walk into the grocery store, or you're in the grocery store, I don't know. A lot of people might work at grocery store. I worked at a grocery store, and you're in the line, and what does everybody say? Like when the lady behind the counter can't scan it, well, it must be free.
Oh, I love it. Say that.
It must be free. You know how many times I got that joke? All right.
So
this one,
right?
Yeah. This one affects Connecticut. So if we have any viewers from the Connecticut area, watch out, because right now you've got the Connecticut General Assembly trying to push a bill through right now that would effectively ban the sale of all flavored tobacco and e-cigarette products, by their admission, to reduce addiction. and which they say in their estimation disproportionately affects youth and people of color. That is their aim. That is their goal. So Connecticut is trying to push through a flavor ban. So it's not going to only be e-cigarettes and things of that nature. It's also going to be menthol cigarettes, more than likely smokeless tobaccos, anything that's flavored, the cigarellos, the grapes and the peaches and all that fun stuff.
Mangoes, pastries.
Right. So they're saying the bill would specifically target vape products with fruity flavors, and that's for the youth. They want to keep the youth away from the addictive flavors that exist.
Roots.
And menthol cigarettes, which they say historically, which is historically targeted to the African American community.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about that. I disagree. I think, see, but those are FDA approved, JT, right? Nicorette and Nicoderms and the inhalers and the things that, those are all FDA approved. So they're going to push that because they're government backed. Vaping, and I mean, I just think it. I disagree with the fact that menthol cigarettes target the African American community. I think a lot of people smoke menthol regardless of their race, creed, color, or whatever. You might say it's more popular with certain communities, but I don't know that it was specifically targeted to them. I disagree there. And then on top of that, I wanted to disagree with I forget. I lost my train of thought in that. In that thought, I lost my train of thought.
Connecticut.
Well, no, I know I'm still in Connecticut there, brother. According to the 2020 National Youth Tobacco Survey, this is last year, 20% of high school and 5% of middle school students reported using e-cigarettes. And this is the number that they're using to substantiate their argument. The last year's National Youth Tobacco, but we also know that those numbers have come down dramatically in the last year. So they're using antiquated figures. Yes, that's true. I think when you talk about that, you're talking about like, cotton candy and peach mango and apple and those. When they talk about flavors from that angle, they're talking about the e-liquids and the vapes and stuff that the kids supposedly are just so attracted to because, flavors are what drives them. But then when you talk about other flavors like menthol, because technically, I guess, it's a flavored cigarette of some kind, they see that as targeting a different conglomerate of people altogether. So if you take it away, then somehow that's going to stop them from smoking. Now, was it an article that I showed a couple of weeks back, fellas, where people were actually getting their hands on the little snap pods that you can shove down in your cigarette now? You can, like the little snap balls or whatever they put in the. I don't know where you can buy those things, but
Camel Crush.
Yeah, like the Crush cigarettes and stuff. Their claim is that, according to the CDC, cigarettes contribute to heart disease, cancer, and strokes, which are the three leading causes of death among African Americans. That's according to them, according to their studies. And that's why they want to target menthol cigarettes, because they want to try to lower that, which I disagree with that too, because I just think that Big Pharma is not in business and hospitals aren't in business if you don't have that stuff to quantify and take care of. But what you guys should know, which is important, is that the bill has already passed through the state's Public Health Committee, and there's a lot of sentiment based on the committee chair that this bill will get through the legislature afterwards. If they pass this through the state legislature, this ban would go into effect in October of this year. What I could not find in this article anywhere listed was that bill is up for challenge of any kind. They didn't give a bill number, so there's nothing to follow right now. But there's nothing listing saying where you can go and challenge it from a public perspective. I will assume the standard procedures will take place. that there will be an obelisk. I played way too many video games. Obelisks. There's lots of obelisks in video games. There's nothing about a public forum or a place where you can go and you can challenge this. I'm sure those standards will take place at some point. Again, keep your head on swivel. Pay attention to CASA and any of the other advocacy groups, and speak out if you get that opportunity. Use whatever channels, emails, contact those senators, governors, committee people, heads. Express your displeasure with that, because I don't know the number of vapors in Connecticut, but anyway, so that's your advocacy article. I think that's something to watch out for on the horizon.
Thank you, Mr. Tim Swift.
You're welcome, Tappy McTapperton.
Tappity Tapperton.
Tappity.
All right, guys, we are going to do our juice review of Ruthless and load it. I have the Ruthless logo there. So we're going to start, and Mr. Brian is going to start off. So, Brian, let us know the two flavors that you're going to be reviewing tonight, and it's all you, brother.
So I got a couple of them here. One is apple fritter. Looks like that. If you'll focus, there we go. And banana custard. If you'll focus, there we go. All right, cool. Camera works. So for those who don't know me very well, I'm not a big custard fan. I usually think custards usually give me like a black pepper taste in my mouth. Like it's not, it's like a tea to me. It's not my cup of tea. That's the reason why I decided to pick the custard on here, because I want to see if it was different and how different it was. But here's the thing: is that this custard is actually pretty good, and it's not like your regular custard, like your vanilla, like Diswan type custard. Like it's not a very thick custard. It's more of like a banana cream, like with like a slight donut to it. It's actually really good. Banana's not overbearing, but it does have that, like a natural banana, not a candy banana, if those kind of understand what I'm talking about there. So it vapes, it actually tastes really good.
Camera
What's that?
two.
Oh,
that was camera two.
Gotcha. Camera one, camera two. Reminded me of Wayne's World. And then the apple fritter is actually pretty good. So the apple fritter, like to me, like I think of like like a donut type with like little cinnamon on it and stuff. This doesn't have a lot of cinnamon to it. It's mainly, it feels to me like your apple, not like your, how do I put it? Your apple like dessert filling type. And then it's got the donut with a very slight cinnamon in there. So it's actually pretty good. And both of them, I taste tested them, and then I dripped them on this cool little light up little mod I got. Yeah,
am
see?
surprised?
Yeah, it's a surprise.
Light show.
It's actually not bad of a little mod, to be
Relax,
honest.
Tim, relax.
Kind of comfy.
No, it looks like it's somewhat compact.
It's like alien-y.
Yes, it is very alien-y.
So
What is that mod?
It's the A-Priv.
The A-Priv. Okay.
Looks kind of like the Predator.
Yeah. It's this guy right here.
Okay.
It's kind of neat. Might be for sale here soon if you want to buy it there, Tim. It's black
Which
and red.
means it wasn't that great. That's what that
Black
means.
and red. Well, I got a lot of mods. Just saying.
Hey, Phil, thanks for joining the show tonight.
You can change all the colors on here too, and make it go to the music and all that stuff too. It's kind of neat.
It actually
yeah.
dances to music?
It does.
Wow. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I might have to go deep. There's some other stuff that I really want right now, so I don't know. That would that'd probably take like a back seat to other stuff.
Yeah, see, all sorts of different colors.
I've got the
Is this
X2
a
ones.
liquid review or a hardware review?
Well, I just wanted to know what the mod was.
Yeah, it's a neat mod. To be honest,
What was the first e-liquid you talked about?
banana custard.
No,
It's-
the one before that though.
No, the first one was banana custard. The one after that was apple fritter.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay. Never mind.
Yep. So I give them 5 Johns if John wants to put out the 5 Johns. So, yeah.
He may not have that graphic anymore. I don't know. He's looking. I can tell he's looking
Oh,
for it.
I'm sorry. No. I was reading someone, and bam, there it is.
Yeah, the 5 Johns. Okay.
It's like, I'll find it.
5 Smile Kings. And that's pretty good because you're not a custard fan. So for you to like that custard, yeah, that's pretty good.
It's not like a custard, like a custardy. It's like a donut custard, which is actually, those are actually pretty good.
So you didn't get any of that pepper flavor that you got. You just got the straight good custard flavor out of it. Oh, nice.
No, I've been using them on a single coil deck, twisted wire, 0.7 ohms, 45 watts.
45 watts.
Now, is it like a Culver's custard or what?
It's a good question. It's like the custard of this reminds me of like a pudding custard. That makes any sense?
So not like Culver's, which some people will not know what a Culver's is.
Right, exactly.
And
that's why I'm stumped.
How do you not know what a Culver's is? You live in the Midwest.
I have no idea. Culver's is like a restaurant here.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. They sell ice cream and custard. And the
Nope,
custard
never
is
had
really
it.
good.
Never had it.
That's it. I want to break up. We're done. You and Tim both. We're done.
But yeah, just a little tiny RDA on here. A little tiny airflow on here.
More. Are you the Wasp Nano?
No, this is the gas. That gas single coil mod.
Oh, the gas mod.
It's a nice warm vape, and that's why I want to try it, because some vapes actually, like desserts ones, actually do a lot better when they're a bit warmer. It seems like it's more of like a warm donut. So yeah, that's my review on those. I actually like them. They're pretty good. 120 mils. So yeah, they're gonna last a while, especially in the smaller RDA. So yeah.
Tommy,
Right on.
Tommy, since your name is on there, what are you reviewing tonight for us?
E-liquid from Ruthless.
All right.
Just like you guys.
Well, I know
All
that. What flavors are you?
I'll get to the flavors in a second.
All
First,
right.
I'm going to do the names.
All right.
First up, we got Easy Does It. Sorry for the glare. And the second one I have is Loaded Glazed Donut. I'll go with the Easy Does It first.
Easy does it.
It is a strawberry watermelon. On the inhale, I get strawberry. On the exhale, I get watermelon. It's a juicy, ripe strawberry and a juicy, ripe watermelon.
So you're saying their description is right?
Yes. Their description is spot on.
Perfect.
I can't describe it any better than what they did, so I'm not even going to try.
And that's just the regular Easy does it, right? Not the ice.
Right. I don't do menthol.
That's right.
I'm always like that. I don't like menthol. And I got that in the drop solo on the Groose. It's a 0.31 at 50, and it's been amazing. Corey, I have a Culver's about 45 minutes away from my house. All right. And the Loaded Glazed Donut, it tastes, if you're from Wisconsin,
it does.
if you're from Wisconsin, it tastes exactly like a Quick Trip Glazer.
Yep, that's one of my favorites.
For those of you that don't know what that is, Krispy Kreme donut, or just they're plain glazed, spot fucking on.
Exactly.
It's
I agree with you.
Fantastic. With a cup of coffee, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And that is in the Lost Vape. What the hell is this? Gemini?
Do you not know what you're using?
No, I don't. I'm very ill prepared for tonight. And that's it.
I just claim amnesia. I have so many devices, I don't know what I'm using
old.
anymore.
I can't do that.
Yeah, but see, Tim, you're old enough to claim that. We're not yet.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Early signs of dementia.
And
I mean, they make an orange flame one. That's actually really nice looking, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Goes really great with coffee. I give both of them, since fuck Troncali and his 5 Johns?
Oh, 5 Johns?
No, 5 cheeses. 5 cheeses, not 5 Johns.
Got 5 cheeses.
I do cheeses.
I don't
You
have,
do Johns. I do
I don't
cheeses.
I don't have cheese. I'm sorry.
Well, you're going to have to fix that, sir. Yes, they are both amazing.
And
That's all I got.
That's it. All
Tom,
right.
you should
Yes.
add into your what cheeses Tom off that there's no 5 cheeses.
No.
And-
I like cheese.
He gave it 5 cheddars.
I like a cheddar.
Nice review, Tom. Who's
Nice
next,
job,
Mr.
Tom.
John?
That would be you, Mr. Tim.
I had a feeling. I don't know
See?
why. Something
Yeah.
something told me I was next. All right.
Yeah, you had a 50-50 shot after me.
I did. Now, now, ironically, the first 2 did not include any of the flavors that I picked. I believe that some of us had some crossover, but we all had 3 actually. But we did this. Some of us wanted same ones, so we tried to avoid that. But I'll wait till John's done, and then we can talk about the other ones. The 2 that I chose to talk about are the and I'm gonna have a worse time trying to show everybody. It's Ruthless Antidote on ice, and that's just basically real simple. It's a mango on ice is what it is, and I would have to say that's what I'm vaping right now, which is inside the Oxfa Arbiter, along with the Grus. I don't know how to lost vape Grus. It is a really nice, full flavored, natural tasting mango. So, I know when you get into the fruit flavors and those profiles, a lot of times there's a thin line, right? Either that flavor either falls to the more natural, authentic tasting fruit, or whatever that happens to be, or it goes more candied, right? So it's sweet, but it's not overly sweet. It's got a nice robust flavor. It doesn't taste like something like a chew candy or anything like that. It's like if you had a really decent ripe mango and you just cut it up and started eating it, it tastes like that. And the ice on top of it is not overly dominant at all. It's a nice residual sort of ice to it. So you get that little bit of tingle in there, a little bit of cold, but you really get to enjoy the flavor of the mango presiding over that flavor moreover than you get that kind of mentholy. It's cold. It's like cold. It's like a cold vape. So I would definitely, without a doubt, even if you didn't want the iced version, I would definitely recommend the Ruthless Antidote if you're into mangoes. I know Tom is not. So Tom would not touch this with a 10-foot pole. But for the mango lovers, if you're looking for one, there's multiples out there, but definitely the Ruthless Antidote is on point. The other one that I tried, now this is a challenge, right? So one of the things that we decided to do with this was to kind of step out of our comfort zones a little bit. Yes, that was one of them, John. Is that one you're talking about?
That's your next one that I had on your list.
Very
right?
good. I will talk about that one. So for me, one of the flavor profiles that I've kind of abandoned in general is dessert vapes, sweets and cakes and bars and things of that nature. The problem that I really have with dessert vapes, cereals too, they all got really one-dimensional for me. It's like you could go from company to company to company to company, and nothing stood out. Like they all just sort of tasted the same. So I don't know if that was just a massive case of vapor's tongue over a period of time because I was a dessert vapor. Yeah. And I gladly tell people my favorite flavor of all time is Grandmaster from Five Ponds, without a doubt. If you're into banana, you're into peanut butter and caramel, or Bavarian cream, that's your vape right there. But I did the strawberry jelly donut because I do like jelly donuts. I like jelly donuts. I knuckle tested it. the blend on it is really nice. You do get the separation of the strawberry and the donut. So I mean, you do get that effect. Something was wrong with my system. I don't know what was going on. It was the exact same system here, or it could just be that it's me again. But I just did not, as compared to the knuckle test on the vape side of things, I did not get the strawberry anymore. The strawberry kind of fell away, and I got most of the donut part of it. So it did taste like a donut, like a a glazed donut flavor, but the strawberry just was not as prominent. And I was changing the wattage and I was trying different things. I think I may have had a bad set of coils during that one. So I'd be reluctant to say that I give it a bad grade because of that. I feel like part of the issue was my own and not the actual flavor. So what I'd like to do is a do-over.
Do-over? You got it, Tim. Nope, can't hear
Tim
you.
actually had
Yeah, no, I want to do over. What did we call that? We called them do over. There was another name for that when we'd want to do something again. Anyway,
A mulligan?
no, that's like a gimme. But
Tim,
no,
question for you.
yes.
Did you used to vape a lot of strawberry back in the day?
I don't know that I specifically targeted strawberry in general. Like I can go grab like Monster Labs strawberry, the strawberry jam, and I have no problem. I taste the strawberry all dang day long. It's just sometimes when it gets mixed with a dessert, my brain just tastes dessert or donut or cake or something more prevalent than the actual fruit that's mixed in with it.
Well,
It's
the
been
reason
a while.
why the reason why I asked, I got a few friends of mine who they used to vape strawberry all the time, every kind of strawberry you can imagine, and it got to the point where they just could not taste strawberry anymore, and they just couldn't do it. They can't do it anymore. So that's kind of why I was curious, because if you did that, then that could be a reason for it.
It could be. I mean, I just think it's just this internal battle my brain has with dessert vapes. I get the dessert part of it, and then I start to lose what's supposed to set it apart. I'm like you, Brian. I'm not a big custard fan. Not at all. I just don't know what it is about custards. They just don't do anything for me. So it's a really hard one to try to like pull down and focus on it. But I would say I would like to come back with a follow-up on that. Now that I have a corrected tank system, I'll give it a 3 right now out of 5. Out of 5 Smile Kings, I'll give it a 3, only because I don't want to say it was the juice's fault.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So I will come back next week with the follow-up on that, and I will tell everybody what the re-experience was like. As far as the antidote goes, full on 5 Smile Kings. That one gets 5. And JT, I drool in general, so I don't know if it was the mango, if it was just me. Definitely a 5 on the antidote. And then the other one's off the table until John goes, because John had 2 as well.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let me put my thing up here and switch here because I am going to be doing Rage. Who has Rage? Come on, Rage. Pop up there. There it is. I am vaping the Rage from them, and that is what you have it as well, Tom. That's right. The apple and mangoes. I love mangoes, so I picked up the mango notes right away. I still trying to figure out, maybe we'll have him back on and he can give me a better heads up on it, but whether it's a green apple, I don't taste a red apple. Everyone knows what that red apple tastes like, but I almost get like a green apple note to it. So, and I am vaping that on the Ranker. I think it's from Smoamp, and it's the Dead Rabbit version 2 with I think these Claptons on there. And like I said, I picked up the mangoes right away, but I didn't. I'll do it again here. Yeah, it's a green apple to me. So maybe I'm wrong. So I'd like to find out from him. We'll ask him when he comes back on. But to me, it's a green apple with the mangoes.
Like a Granny Smith apple, like a tart green apple.
That green tart apple flavor to it. Now the mango is very permanent. You can taste that right on the exhale. I mean, I pick up that mango, but that first initial hit I take in, it's a green apple to me. That's what I'm getting from it. So, but I'm going to be super honest with this. I cannot put this juice down since the day I've gotten it, and I have just about done half a bottle of this 120. It's just about gone. So right off the bat, I'm not going to, no BS. This is 5 Smile Kings, and something that I am going to be ordering a lot of because it's very, very, very refreshing, guys. And especially in the afternoon, hot day. I really liked it. It was really, really good. So that's that one. And let me pull up the stat sheet for the other one. Is the same with Tim. It's in my comfort zone, but it's just hold on here, guys. I did a boo-boo. It's the loaded cookie butter vape. I'm really particular about my dessert stuff. So, and I've been doing a lot. I, like most of us, do a lot of fruits. There are some people that all they do vape are dessert flavors. So, that was the loaded cookie butter. Now I have never had a Belgium cookie. I'm not sure what that is. You guys have you had one of those?
I think the Belgian cookies are more like a wafer kind of cookie. They sort of look like a Belgian waffle, but they're kind of like that crusty kind of sugar cookie waffle kind of thing going on.
Okay, now that makes sense. Then yes, I have that. I was trying to figure out exact because for some reason I was just kind of picturing this little sugar cookie like, but I know what you're talking about. Those wafers, we make those. Italians make them too. So that flavor that's what I'm getting from this, and it's banging. It's really, really good. I can taste that butter notes in there, and I'm vaping that on the Paranormal again with the Dead Rabbit version 2 on there with some. I think there are aliens in here too. And you're right. Thank you for clearing that up because now I know exactly what cookie you're talking about because I was going to Google it before the show and I completely forgot about it.
Yeah, I don't think there's something that people normally have around the house. Like you'll see them more common, like people seem to like to get that stuff around the holidays. I don't know what speaks holiday about that, but it just seems like that's when they pop up a little bit more often.
But that is spot on to that cookie because now I know exactly what cookie. And that, the butter is just, it's right there. And it's a good butter. If any of you guys had Liquid States apple butter.
Yes, they had hands down probably the best apple butter out.
Yeah,
out
it's right there with that butter flavor with this one. And that cookie, now that I know what cookie it is, it's spot on to that cookie.
Yeah.
Had that cookie. We make something similar to that. And it's funny that Tim said that we only make those cookies during Christmas. So it's a flat, I can't remember the name of it now. It's an Italian name, but it's a flat cookie. And we use a press to make them. And that's spot on to that cookie.
Yeah.
So yeah, five stars on that. That's another one that I will be ordering. It's great with a cup of coffee, guys. I'm just amazing with a cup of coffee. So that is our Ruthless line. Tim's got. You got one more that you're going to.
Well, I one that didn't get brought up, but this one I'm coming back on the boomerang on this one, and I would definitely give this one. Y'all hear my dog? My dog is reverse sneezing right now.
What is it, Tim? So I could pull up.
It's called Raspberry Eclair.
Okay.
Now that one kind of caught me off guard because I'm so used to having like the standard Eclair, which is like cream, like custard filled or cream filled, with chocolate icing, on the standard, your regular Eclair.
Which company was that?
This is Loaded.
Oh,
this is Loaded, yeah. Right. So between Loaded and Ruthless, I had 2 Loaded flavors, and then I had the one from Ruthless. This is the Raspberry Eclair. This one's spot on. This one's really, really, really good. For a desserty kind of vape, you definitely get more of an Eclair flavor in terms of the dough or whatever they were trying to mix it with. So I mean, eclairs have a tendency to taste a little bit different than a donut. You know, donuts can either be cakey or have that sort of like sugary sweet kind of glazed taste. This is definitely more of an eclair taste, and then the raspberry is extremely prominent in there. So you get the fruit and the dessert. It would not be an all-day vape for me, but that's just because it's a dessert vape. This would be really good, in the morning with coffee or something like that. Like if you're going to mix it with coffee, it'd be a great pairing with coffee, or like an evening thing. You know, like when you're like, you got all the, you've had a big nice meal, and now you're ready to sit back and have like a little bit of a rest with a somewhat light dessert. I would say this would go really well in the evening as well with like a coffee or something, like an after dinner thing. I just can't do it all day. It's not that it's too sweet. It's just desserts in general. But for dessert lovers, there you go. Sorry, wrong side.
That is exactly it tastes just like those. It's so spot on. I just needed Tim to clarify what cookie it was, because for some reason I was just kind of picturing this real small, delicate sugar cookie type from them, and that's not it. It's exactly that cookie, and it's spot on to it. It's amazing. I just still get. Do you guys still get blown away by certain flavors? It's just like it's so spot on. It's crazy.
Of course, yeah, definitely. I mean, because I think that's the goal, right? I mean, like when we're out there shopping for e-liquid, I mean, everyone always relates it to something somehow that you're used to in order to give you that by way of comparison, in order to judge that juice.
I'm surprised that it's in liquid form, though. Doesn't it just kind of like, okay, this is a liquid, you got this cookie that your grandmother used to make, and you like for this one, for instance, that's a cookie that I only ate during Christmas, and to hit that juice, it's just like all of a sudden now the memories are like, oh, I see myself pressing that stupid goddamn press thing to make those cookies.
Well, did you see what Morgan said? She said she thought they were called Rosettas.
Rosettas, that's what they are. Yeah, and we have a little machine, a little press. You would put the dough in, just like a quarter size in there, and then you take this press thing and you press it down. And it was heated, and this cookie would come out about 5 or 6 inches, real flat. Yeah. That's exactly what it tastes like.
That's what they are. I mean, literally, that's what they are.
Yeah, it's spot on, but it still blows me away that these things are in liquid form. That I don't have to wait till Christmas to have this flavor in my mouth. That didn't sound right. Oh, Tom, you blew your chance for that's what she said. Well, I'll do it for you. I'll do it.
Did anybody else get the Did anybody else get the strawberry jelly donut?
I don't think anybody else.
I thought one.
I did. Yeah, I got the strawberry, but I haven't opened it yet. So
all right, okay, all right. Just I could have sworn that there was a couple people that wanted.
I got it. I got that, and I will open that one. Strawberry is one of those flavors like you, Tim. I'm kind of done with.
I love strawberry. I totally dig the Jam Monster peanut butter and strawberry. That one's really, really, really good. And I just like their regular strawberry as well. So I mean, I'm okay with strawberry vapes.
How do you compare that strawberry jelly to the big?
I would say the Jam Monster is definitely on the far more sweeter side. I mean, the first bottle I ever had of the Jam Monster strawberry, I was like, holy crap, I'm going to be bouncing off the walls here like a 5-year-old if I keep vaping this stuff. It was very, very sweet. But the more you vaped it, the more it calmed down. I thought, to me, with the strawberry jelly donut, I just thought the strawberry was extremely subtle.
Subtle?
Yeah, it just was far. And that's when I started to think that it was something wrong with the tank or the coils or my wicking or something like that. It just, something wasn't right compared to the knuckle test.
Now, I was going to check on that one, but does that one have the dough flavor in it too, or not the dough? What do they call it?
Like the glazed flavor?
Or the donut flavor in it? So some have and get that. You still get that. That at all? The donut itself?
Let me knuckle test it again for you all. It's not a cake donut. It's definitely more of like a glazed kind of donut.
Okay. Like a yeast donut.
Yeah, like a yeast donut with that light glaze on it, and then the strawberry. It's a very natural tasting strawberry too. It's like, like when you get strawberry, like, well, it's like a strawberry jam, like a preserve, not like a gel, not like a true jam. It's like more like a preserve, but it's very natural tasting. It's underneath the flavor. It's underneath the flavor of the donut. But like right there, I'm like, man, I got a lot of strawberry in that one. So that's why I think something was wrong.
Yeah, I just did that little knuckle test, and I got the good strawberry, and then here now, I'm tasting that donut.
Yeah,
that's kind of weird. I liked it. It's kind of different. I usually doesn't happen like that with the taste. Usually I have to vape it to get those other notes, but I got that real intense strawberry right off the bat, and then here now that it's kind of in my mouth. Shut up, Tom. It's I can taste the donut.
Well, I think that's what I appreciate about Loaded, though. I mean, after having a chance to actually taste their juices, is that they don't make them overly complex, that you really have to kind of hunt and find the things that you're looking for when they say this is what it's going to taste like. They give you like 2 primary flavors that are on the tin, and those are the 2 that you get. And they're very prominent, very pronounced. You know what I mean? They're not subtle. It's not like I've had certain vapes, where you get it and it's like everything just is like air.
Pincels. That's the
pincels.
Pincels. Okay. That's the. I had to look it up. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. It's a pincel. It tastes just like that cookie. So, bam, bang on. Tom, do you want to do what's bothering Tom or what's cheesing Tom real quick before we head on out of here?
I mean, I got a couple things.
All right, let me give you a bumper, brother. Hold on. Bam.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Alrighty then.
Never get tired of that.
Had to do it
Never.
All
right. I don't have nothing written down because it's been kind of a rough weekend for me since we were all here last. But that situation is fixed, so I'm getting back into the swing of things. And I'll start with doctors that make their patients confused and won't explain things in simple terms. They think, that everybody's a doctor and knows all the long medical terms, etc. Well, that's kind of scary to some people.
Yeah.
I have firsthand experience with that, and I'm not a big fan. So I have to take my mother to an appointment tomorrow, and I will be in there with the doctor. And if he starts using big words, I'll kneecap his ass.
Or how you get them to stop doing that, Tom? As he says the words that he's saying, just start Googling them and say, hold on, let me read this definition. Then he'll get tired of you having to stop to do that every time, that he'll just try to do it in layman terms for you.
See, I figure I'll just cut out that part of it and just go right to the hitting him in the kneecap with a baseball bat.
Well, at least he's in the hospital.
Quicker. Right. I mean, he's right there.
He's there.
I'll probably get asked to leave, but we'll get some straightforward, simple answers. Overprotective family. Oh my God.
Overprotective.
That's all I'm gonna say. Just overprotective.
Protecting you or other people?
Other people.
Oh.
And trying to pin it on me. And it's like, no, it wasn't me. I'm just as clueless as you guys were.
Yeah.
Don't pin this on me. Nope. I'd like to kneecap them too, but that just ain't gonna end well. They play dirty. I'm just in a mood today, guys.
Tom's had a rough one this week.
Yeah.
How about porn sites that don't give you a long enough preview?
I'm quick enough anyways, it don't matter.
What about confusing hospitals? You walk in and you don't know where to go.
Yeah, that too.
Oh.
And they'll put the map up, you are here.
University.
How did I get to radiology again? I have no idea how I got to radiology again.
Yeah. Why am I in the ward with the crazy people? What the hell?
The university hospitals were the worst for that. Read that thing. You could walk in a complete circle and just be like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" It's just walk in a complete circle.
Yeah, and it's because they throw up additions wherever there's room. Not
Yeah.
where it makes sense, where there's room.
Yeah, I got a hospital story. Can I share it?
Sure.
No,
Yeah,
of course you can.
I was at UCSF, which is a very big hospital, a university hospital, and I would push the elevator button. I'm waiting for the elevator to open, come to the floor and open. The doors open, and there's this fucking robot on wheels, and this robot on wheels delivers medicine from the pharmacy to rooms to the nurses' stations, and that's what it do. But the problem is you're not allowed to be in the elevator with the robot. So the robot won't let me in the elevator. So every time I tried to step forward, the elevator would move, the robot would move forward to kind of block the entrance of the elevator. And I did this like 3 or 4 times. And I think whoever's watching the robot is laughing their ass off because finally his voice comes on and tells me, "Sir, you cannot get in the elevator while the robot is in the elevator. You'll have to wait for the next elevator." Because I would have kept doing it. I was getting ready to just like take this robot and just throw it up against the wall and just like get the hell out of my way. And of course, this his voice goes on, and then the robot lets me know his name. So the robot goes, "Sorry, this is Elvis. I'm sorry for the robot's name was Elvis. I'm sorry, but you cannot get in the elevator with me, Elvis." I'm like, "Oh, what the hell, dude?" There's my hospital story.
I'm glad my hospitals aren't fancy.
My first experience with an actual robot.
Robots are going to take over the world, man.
I thought it was the neatest thing I ever saw, and that's
It would probably freak me the hell out. Like, what the heck?
Oh, it stood about 3.5 feet high, and it was pretty wide. It was about 2 feet wide, and it was on wheels, and it just goes from nurse's station to nurse's station, delivering all the medicine for that floor in this little thing. But for safety precautions, you couldn't be isolated with the robot by itself. Like, I'm gonna do what? Mug a fucking robot, dude?
Right?
Give me your med.
I had another one too, and I can't remember for the life of me what it was.
Was it Asimov Rule 10?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
I'm a dumb country boy, man. I don't know nothing.
He's a dumb.
I don't know what I'm guessing it's Isaac Asimov.
JT, or am I? Should I be okay with Googling this, JT?
I don't know if I want to. I mean, I really don't trust people on the internet.
Pretty bad right now. My Google history is pretty bad, so I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure. Brian, look that up.
Tim and Brian are both looking. I can see it in their eyes.
No, I didn't. I swear I didn't look it up, but I will right now. I have to now. It's killing me.
Wait till the drones take
over.
over.
It has something. Wait. It has something to do with robotics.
I figured.
Right off the top. Where can I find Rule 10 though? Does it tell you what Rule 10 is? This is a wiki page, so it's like 18 friggin' scrolls long. Well, it just says there's 3 laws of robotics.
Okay.
Rule number 10 must be to
tell us, JT. Wait till the drones take over.
Yeah,
I have a shotgun for drones, so I'm okay.
Yeah, it's going to be something about kill all humans.
Probably.
And it'll have Mark Zuckerberg's face.
Well, I put it in like he typed it, but I'm not getting.
Is it a term from a Terminator movie or one of those AI movies? It might be one of those. Like a term.
No. It's actually from author Isaac Asimov.
Oh, okay.
Who wrote? He wrote books and stuff, but I'm just not finding specifically what Rule 10 is. I see 3 laws, but I don't see a numbered list of rules.
The robot must be nice to humans. It's what JT is saying.
Oh,
okay.
You're right there. I didn't see that yet.
It's coming.
So it's kind of like how the reprogrammed robot was in The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
Yeah,
Never seen it.
when the guy reprogrammed the one drone to be
Well-
like a protector.
Well, JT, he wasn't being nice to me. He wouldn't let me in the fucking elevator.
Right at that point, all cards are on the table. You're done. No.
Yeah, I mean, and it was like, and it wasn't like a smooth movement right to left. It was a very abrupt movement. So it's just like letting you really know that you're not.
Oh, he was straight up coming at you.
Yeah, it wasn't like a sudden, just a slow movement to the right or the left. It was like I would go right, and it instantaneously would just go right to the right and not let me in. And what the weirdest part was, it was right in front of the door. So when the door's open, it's right there. It's not like in the back of the elevator. It's on purposely sitting right in sitting. It's purposely doing whatever right there, smack in the middle of the door as it opens. So if you don't know anything, it's just like, okay, is Terminator? Is this the Terminator? What's going on here? Am I dead? And then I would try to go to the right, and it would just go, and I'm like, okay. I step to the left. I'm like, all right. and then come on. I mean, obviously I know now that there was someone watching. He could have said something right at the beginning. Sorry, you're not allowed in the elevator until, wait for the next. He could have said that. No, he wanted to play with me. So it made me go left, then right, and then left again before it told me, like, dude, you can't get in the elevator.
Should have done a juke move or something.
It's like, get out of here. It could at least offer me some drugs, and I would have walked away.
So you're talking about hospitals earlier? I was trying to find this picture, actually. It took me a while.
Okay.
So anyways,
what are you going to show me here?
So anyways, when my kiddo was born, we were, before she was born, we are going to do the ultrasound stuff. Well, where we're going to was this place. And I was like, are we sure we're in the right place?
Yeah, because that just doesn't seem, very appropriate.
It's on right before the door as we walked in. I'm like, I'm not sure if we're actually in the right place or not. Is this really okay?
Yeah, that just
hospitals are scary. Hospitals are scary places, man. They're scary places.
Yeah,
It took me a while to find that pic.
And in the current climate of everything, with no visitors being allowed or nothing, it's even worse for the people there.
Oh yeah. It's a ghost town. I have a friend of mine. She's a nurse, and she's like, it's the weirdest thing. Just walking down a hallway, and there's absolutely no one, walking to the cafeteria. No one walking to the coffee thing. There's just no one. She says, just like, she did say she does like the fact that she does not having to wait for an elevator. You push the button, the elevator's there. It's ready to go. but she said it's a ghost town.
I would like to end my segment with this.
Go ahead.
Elevators smell different to midgets.
I don't have my sound effects hooked up, but you would have got one there.
Well, I figure try to save it.
Yeah, you got
and on a happy note.
Yeah. All right, guys. You guys got anything else you want to throw out there before we head on out of here?
I think I'm all right.
You all right, Tim? You all right?
A little blurry looking.
That means you're all right, Tim. We can't hear
No,
you.
I'm muted. No, I had a question for the group who returns every week. So if you guys have any subjects or topics you want us to address or speak on, I know we're going to throw the email address out here shortly, but bring those up because we want to hear what you guys want us to talk about too.
Absolutely.
Hit them up at Wednesday night live show at gmail.com.
And not Asmanoff theology that we're not going to cover that topic.
Yeah, no, we're not going to cover dating topics or anything like that, or and
what vape related stuff would you want us to address or talk about?
Yeah, we're always open to, and also companies that you are interested in knowing a little bit more about. Throw those questions out there. We have a couple companies due to come on here in the next following weeks. We got a few e-juice companies that are coming in. One is a very old OG company that's been around since the beginning. So, we want to get their stories, hear how they got started, and also hear from the people that work there, their vape journey stories too. So we got a lot of shows coming, a lot of great shows coming. So Any topics you guys want us to throw out there, just let us know. And
Even if you guys want to send stuff that cheeses you off, I'll
Yeah.
read it.
That's awesome, Corey. Keep it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you got to convert them one at a time.
one at a time.
I have heard of them. Have you
Yeah.
guys heard of them?
I have not. Where are they from?
Heard of them, but I haven't tried anything.
I haven't tried their stuff, but I heard of them. Yeah. Bruce City Vapes, where are they at? Bruce City Vapes, Bruce City Vapes. Why am I thinking? Why am I not? No, I'm getting. You know who I'm getting them mixed up with? That company that was out of Detroit.
Oh, Detroit Rock Candy?
Detroit Rock Candy. Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Oh,
Yep.
Nice.
Tom, you will have to look those guys up and try to get some. You're the closest. You're the closest. Wait, let me look at them. Let me picture the map in my head. Yes, you are the closest.
It says Stroffles is good. I assume it's strawberry waffles.
John, they're like 5 hours away.
Yeah, so I was gonna say I had the picture in my head, the map. So, and I was trying to.
We're in
see
the
if-
same state. You
Yeah,
guys
that's
are not
right.
in the same state as me.
Yeah. He has a 3-pack a day smoker. God, I was pretty close to that. I was 2.5 packs a day, man. I'm glad I took the jump into vaping, or else I don't know if I'd be alive today at 53.
Strawberry waffle. That does sound delicious.
Strawberry.
I must be on the wrong side. I don't see that flavor.
Yeah, I don't.
BrewCityJuice.com,
Well,
Jim.
we will look into them. We will look into them. And Morgan, here's some homework for you. If you would like for them to be on the show, let them know. Give them our email address to have them contact us, and we would love to have them come on the show and share their story. How the company got started, and if they have any spotlight employees they would like to share their vaping journey stories, we'd love to have them on. So give them our email address, and we'd love to have them on. I would love to have as many e-juice companies that have been around for a long time come on and share their stories, and especially if they are in compliance.
The closest
'Cause
spot
if
I
they
can
are
find
in
some of
compliance-
their liquid is about an hour south of me.
Yeah, their name is Brew City Juice.
Yeah, that's what I said. BrewCityJuice.com.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was
They got-
getting confused with the
We'd love
vapes
to
part
have
of it.
those guys on too as well, JT. You can hit them up with our email address. I have a lot of companies that are coming on. We should have 5 stars on. Who else is going to be coming on with us? Paramet. Oh God, I can't say their name. I got to look at the bottle. Where's
Okay.
I don't have a bottle around here. Yeah, there's quite a few juice companies that we want to have on, especially ones that, like I said, that have been around for a good 10 years. Some of them 10 years and longer.
John,
So-
you might like this one from Brew City. Creamy vanilla peppermint dessert. It's
Ooh,
called
yes,
vanilla
sir.
mint.
I would like anything peppermint. That's just one of those flavors right now that I can't stop. I got that right in front of me right now. I got the mint's spearmint and the mint peppermint right in front of me. I've been vaping that one. I don't want to vape that whole 30 ml bottle too quick though. All right, guys. With that being said, if you're new to the ZampleBox channel, please hit the subscribe button. That'll give you notifications when our show is on. Also, if you're having issues with that, we're going to talk. Someone kept telling me to bring this back up, but if you're having issues and you're not getting the notifications, you can. I've been told to do is unsubscribe and then resubscribe, and that should kick it back in, and you should start getting notices. It's a YouTube glitch, I guess, that's going on with some. Supposedly, it's just a little glitch. I don't know why it's just happening to vape channels, but
It's
seems
happening
like
to gaming too. There's
Yeah, it's
some gaming channels that it's happening.
happens
So
to
it's
it,
everybody.
Yeah, so we will see everybody next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that is what time in North Dakota time?
8 p.m. Central.
8 p.m. The only
Okay.
time that matters. Central.
What time does that show come on for you, Tim?
9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
There we go.
Put
All right,
some
guys.
feeling into it, Tim.
I figured,
Enjoy.
I wasn't even thinking about it in the beginning. I could just go through us because we cover all the time zones right here.
We do.
right? That's
Yep.
right. So
Well, we're missing Mountain Time, but
That's
I
okay.
mean,
Enjoy that RDA, Morgan.
yeah,
Great job on that one.
and email
No.
us, Morgan, if you have any questions. Email us or hit us up if you're on the ZampleBox family page. Hit us up on there as well, and we would love to help you. I will try again. I was going to do it this weekend, but I'll try next week. Then have the cameras all set up to do a basic Clapton, simple basic Clapton for you guys. I was going to do it this week, but for some reason I could not, for the life of me, find my 38 gauge wire. So I had to order some 38 and 38 and 36 gauge wire. So, all right, guys, we will see everybody next week on this channel and everywhere else. Peace out. And where's the outro button?